I'd like to introduce you to two of the central artists who made this film happen. The person who is struggling with the chair is our director, Lan T. And as I'm sure you noticed, this movie was truly a work of editing magic.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay.
So, also with us is our film editor, Mia Smith. And of course, we have several other people who helped out with the film for various of the shoots. We have Sanjay Smith, also a director of photography. We have Sarah Tsubata, who helped with a lot of the behind-the-scenes production work. And we even have Doji Lee, who's outside, who acted as a production assistant. So it was the work of many people all together. Sorry, do we have any performers with us? Any of the dancers or performers?
No,
I guess not. Okay, we're very sorry. We were hoping to. Okay, and of course I'm the producer, Kate Tsubata. So we open up the floor. Any questions?
What was your inspiration for doing this?
Let's give the mic first. We got. Okay.
What was your inspiration for doing this? What was it born from?
We were in Israel at the Dead Sea, and we had a little performing arts group, and another group of students met them, and we did a little performance for them, and then they turned on their music and they started dancing. And then we joined in and we started dancing with them. The entire parking lot full of people, 300 or 400 people, all started dancing. And I looked at that and I just thought, wow, this is how the world could be. I mean, people of all different nations, no one spoke the same language, no one planned it. You know, the mayor happened to come by and saw this and said, oh, you people have to come to our marathon tomorrow and perform and stuff. But when I saw that, I thought, wouldn't it be wonderful if the whole world could dance together? And that was the seed of this film.
How did the film get funded?
We had a number of different sources. We did crowdfunding. We did many creative ways of saving money. You may have noticed that we filmed mostly outside, you know, in beautiful historic. That was partly for artistic purposes and partly for money purposes. But also
Funding and personal funding.
a certain person, Kazuo, where are you?
He's in the back.
Okay, Kazuo, could you stand up? Okay, this is my husband, Kazuo Tsubata. And he allowed me to sell our house. So he's the real champion of the funding.
Other question? Yep. A mic.
So each group choreographed their own, or for the most part choreographed their own. Did everybody choreograph the entire piece, or did you assign different sections, or did people even actually dance to the music we were hearing?
Yes and yes. So we contacted, we basically did a worldwide search and said this is what we want to do. And those who were interested and who felt compelled to be a part of it became a part of it. And we gave them certain selections of music we thought would look good with their style of dance. Again, many of them have their own traditional music that goes with their traditional dance, of course. So this was a bit of a challenge for most of them, but because they could kind of get this concept of, oh, all of us are going to be dancing together. How does this all, they had to really think very creatively. And myself as a dancer and choreographer would come in and help with a few little things at the end. But it was really just, I would say, a passion project for the dancers. They heard the music, mostly they heard the inspiration, and they got really excited. And we're like, okay, we'll choreograph these pieces. And some of them did not always choreograph to the pieces that we have assigned in the music. A lot of times we took the beat or the message behind. A lot of times they will give us, for instance, part of their traditional dance and say, well, this is a festive dance about this, or this is a mournful dance about this. And so we would find the right music to put their dancing towards. So it was quite a bit.
Yeah.
I'm through the process of editing the film. As she said, a lot of it was choreographed to each section. But I would say about like a quarter or so of the footage that I received were independent from the music and were just add-ins, from the traditional dance groups. So it was kind of up to me and us to be like, okay, what fits where, what fits not only the rhythm, but the mood, the energy, the flow of the storytelling, of the entire film to put it in. I would say that was the most challenging part of editing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But hopefully you won't be able to tell what those parts are.
First of all, thank you so much. Just wonderful. Could you talk about how many different film crews there were, and what kind of instruction did you give to the film crews to try and have some kind of continuity or thematic for all of this?
So we had a core group of 4 people, which was myself, the director of photography, and the other camera person. Okay. Then in each locality, we usually had we had a local crew who joined us. So, goodness, how many crews? Well, we had 21 locations, so I guess there were...
We had 1 unit producer in each place.
Yeah, we had, in each different country, we had to have a local unit producer who spoke the language and who could speak English. And they had to handle and navigate a lot of the different film permissions and because every country has different systems, drone permission or permission for, using historical cultural locations and many different things. So it was almost like each different location was like a mini movie in itself in terms of the production needs. Normally you have one crew, you have one set of permissions and stuff. We had to do it 21 times.
Yeah. But with a core crew.
We only had a core crew of 4 of us that traveled the world doing this. So that was the common denominator, is we just traveled the world. We got on an airplane, we hid cameras in our shirts, and well, we didn't hide them. Okay, sorry. We had a carnet, which is like a passport for your equipment. We went through we traveled the world, and we did it within a very short period of time. We had probably 2 to 3 days in every location. And so if it rained, we only had to do 1 reshoot, but that we only got rained out 1 time. So we had some good energy and good stuff surrounding us. But yeah, it was crazy.
How long did it take to make this film?
How long did it take? 2 months.
The shooting time, just all the shooting was 62 days. And the editing time, I'll hand over to Mia.
The editing took like 9 months, pretty much like as long as it takes to have a baby. So I call this my baby because that makes sense to me. But yeah, it's definitely a labor of love, and you can see how, maybe you can't tell, and the production value and what we put out, how quickly we had to do everything, how, on a meager, crew size and everything like that. But like, I think it's even more proof that like anyone can make a movie, and like if you have a passion, if you have a vision, like I encourage you to live that out, because we did it. Any other questions?
Oh, over there. Okay, then over there.
Oh, we'll get you next. Sorry.
Yeah.
In the back.
This is a follow-up to some extent question. Can one of you talk about the choreography of the camera?
Oh yeah. I mean, the camera operators, I had to teach them how to dance a little bit. Well, it was mostly me holding them and then like moving them backward or forward. And then I'm like, just be smooth. And they're like, I don't dance. So, you know, it was a lot of learning this movement.
Explain the camera was on.
Oh yeah, the camera was on a what's it
Steady
called?
cam.
A steady cam, so that they could kind of come in and out, so it could keep it smooth. But a lot of it, a lot of it was the direction that I could take, where they just kind of relied on me to say, like, you got to focus on the hands; these are important. You got to focus on the feet. I want you to come away because this big movement looks better from further away. So a lot of times it was me, yeah, holding on to them and them just taking direction. We worked very, very well as a team, thank goodness, where everyone, you know, wanted to do the best possible and you know, capture the most that they possibly could. They worked incredibly hard.
Tell them how you had to communicate with the dancers.
Well, most of the dancers don't speak English, so a lot of times we just had to communicate through dance. So, you know, I would count, or I'd put on the music. I'd ask them, you know, to dance. Then they would dance, and then there would be subtle, okay, could you do this one different? And so I would try and learn their choreography so that I could reiterate how maybe we could make slight changes and stuff. So a lot of it was done. I mean, the thing about this movie is it's in two universal languages, in music and in dance. So you don't really need much else. You can kind of get the whole feel and the gist and the connection because it uses the most common languages known to man, which is dance and music. So that's exactly how I had to communicate with these dancers that I would meet one day, film that day, and then we would move on to another country. So we had a very short amount of time in terms of communication. I think we had a question over here first, and then.
Yeah. Hi, great film. How did you guys come up with the locations, the different locations too?
Okay, I have got to tell you this. We searched for locations using things like Google Earth. We used, I mean, it was unbelievable the way that we found the locations. I have to say miraculous, you know, and in many cases the locations were so rare and so unusual that probably I don't think anyone else could ever have found them.
Do you want to give some examples?
Oh, like for instance, the Botswana, you know, the Botswana area. Well, it turned out after searching through, because they had very strict rules about filming in the national parks there, or filming on, you know, public areas, you know, areas that would make good locations. But I found an Airbnb where we could rent to actually stay there and to eat there and stuff. And it had all of these beautiful locations that were perfect for the film. So we asked them, would it be okay if we film? Not only did they allow us to film there, they catered the film for us, you know. So we had many, many amazing miracles like that, yeah. Yes, oh, sorry.
Oh, we got two. One in the back.
I really enjoyed the fire dancing. Were there extra challenges with filming that?
I was against the fire, actually, to be honest. No, I mean, when it was happening, I was like, guys, I don't know, because again, that was filming at a kind of a location near the Airbnb that we were at, which again, we got permission for, and I was like, I don't have a good feeling about this, but our DP, he was great. He was like, this is gonna be good. So he was right, we got it, but I was like, I just think something's gonna catch fire. And so there is a clip of me, you know, saying cut, and then saying some not great words and running to a bush and like throwing dirt on a bush that had caught fire. So other than that, it was great. No, but it was beautiful. They were like one of the best groups. They were just like, what do you need? You want more? We got more fire. Let's get more fire. Let's get more gasoline.
Do it more than once?
We did it a few times. We did it a few times, not too many times.
And by the way, the fire was caused by soaking steel wool in gasoline.
Yeah.
So that fire going around, that was not like, you know, what do you call it? Just special effects. That was like real stuff.
It was fun though.
Have you considered or thought about making a blooper roll?
I mean, I was vlogging as we were doing this. So there are vlogs on YouTube that you can see, but I'm sure we have quite a few.
I don't know if you think we have enough.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure about blooper reels. You know, we have different opinions about it because it's like when you show the bloopers, it's like you know, you want the art to kind of be protected and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So as an editor, I'm like, let's cut it out, you know. But that's my job. But yeah, I definitely, yeah, the vlog will show kind of more behind the scenes. We have like a whole series on YouTube if you guys ever want to check it out. It's called Following Joy. It's under the Dancing Joy movie. So if you look up Dancing Joy movie on YouTube, it'll pop up. Yes?
I like when the fire was going. I like the sparks of the fire. What happened in the sand?
Yeah.
Because there's also a movie where fire goes in like sand and then it turns into like glass. Multi glass.
That's awesome.
And I also saw like these sparks going inside the glass, and I really liked that.
That's awesome. I will say about that scene, that was one of the scenes that wasn't originally included. That was just like an add-on, and I was trying to think, where should I put this? This is such an awesome sequence. And right at the end of the first movement there, the music gets really intense, and the beat just, you know, accelerates and everything like that. And when I saw it, I was like, ah! It was so exciting to see how it matched up, you know, at the end of that movement.
So I was given this mic.
Yeah.
It was so thrilling to watch. It really was just emotional and thrilling and exciting. And particularly for me was taking Beethoven's symphony and just understanding it in a whole different way because the dance was there. And it was also really, really exciting to see the dancers, all the different ways there are to move and to dance and to, you know, just so different from each other. I have a question, which is, you know, the Beethoven's Ninth Symphony is the official song of the European Union. And I'm wondering if it ever came up with the Native American groups or the African groups, just feelings about that or irony about that.
What a wonderful question. And by the way, she has a tremendous, she's a dancer herself and a choreographer, so. Oh, well. Anyway, okay, so that was such a good question, and it came up a lot. Not so much from the dancers, but actually from would-be directors of photography, many people who we approached about the concept for the film. Many people felt that if we used a European-centric piece of music, we were imposing a, what would you call it, a colonial, imperialistic culture upon indigenous people and so on. Our viewpoint was very different. Our viewpoint was that Beethoven, even in writing the symphony, he had broken all of these boundaries. And his concept and his message was all mankind as brothers and sisters, living in joy, and each person valued and embraced in this enormous love. So that's where, so we understood there were certain groups maybe who would opt out because they felt very strongly they wanted to only do their own indigenous music as well as, you know, dance. We understand that whenever you create anything, there's always going to be choices, and those who participate are making a choice, and those who, you know, are producing are making a choice. And our choice was, and we asked the dancers, the dancers who participated had to have two qualities. They had to be deeply connected to their roots, love and preserve their own roots, and they had to have a vision for humanity. So basically, that was the, I don't know what you call it, self-elected screening system, you know? So, you know, we weren't trying to, you know what I mean, to dominate. But this was simply the piece of music, and it is really, honestly, the most well-known music in the entire world. It's beloved throughout the world. I don't know if you know, but besides the European Union, it was at the end of World War I, the German soldiers who had been POWs were treated very well by their Japanese captors. So they performed this music for their Japanese captors. That was the first time the music was performed in Japan, and it has become Japan's national tradition to celebrate peace. And it's also been used for human rights activities, for peace and reconciliation. At the end of the Cold War, Leonard Bernstein brought together musicians from East and West Germany to perform this, you know. So it has a tremendous connection to human rights. So with full realization of what you asked, we felt that the message and the vision and Beethoven's own dream was what we could stand on, if you will. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Take a few more questions. Who hasn't gone yet? Someone back there. Oh, Alana.
Those are our daughters, so they can ask us at home.
Good idea. I mean, unless it's a really good one. Okay, sorry. Okay.
I'm not your daughter, so I
can... Yes, you can ask away. Okay. Unless you want to be adopted.
I'll think about that. Depending on where I can go in the world. It's such a unique film, really, and I sort of would mimic what others say about how really unique and enjoyable it was. And I'm curious about where it's been shown and what your plan is. Do you have a plan for how it can be shown both here in the United States and internationally?
We did one family and friends screening of it at Gallaudet University, which of course was the very first group that decided to join and stuff. Very significant for us. And then just as we were about to release the film, COVID struck. So in a way, I mean, honestly, this may be the second public showing of the film. And so we are wide open. We really want, honest to God, my desire is for everyone in the entire world to see this movie. You know, we also are very open to partnering with organizations that want to maybe raise money for purposes. You know, like we would love to use the film as a way of bringing good things, you know, into the world. So if anyone has any ideas, suggestions, connections, or whatever, please.
Apply in the film festivals.
We've gone through the film festival circuits and have actually won quite a few, so we're very proud of that. So thank you. You can see our laureates on our DVDs and Blu-rays. So we have done the film circuit, and we have been on Amazon, and we've finished that distribution, so we're looking for new distribution opportunities at this time. But yeah, this is the sleeper hit. Okay, is that one more?
So the cinematography was so sumptuous. What camera did you use to shoot it?
Yeah, it was filmed on a red, so you know, we really wanted it to feel super vibrant, colorful, you know, clear, you know, to capture all the different cultures, you know, dress and you know, even the scenery and everything like that, and the different skin tones as well. So that was something that was really important to us, so that we made that choice, yeah, to use red.
I just wanted to make just a note on the dancers. Like you can see, one of our goals was to make sure that they were different ages, different, you know, professional to amateur to whatever. You know, we wanted to show that everyone can dance. Everyone's a dancer. Everyone is a part of that. And that was another important thing that I just wanted to mention, because I truly believe everyone should and can dance. And that's the other message of the film, was that, you know, you don't have to have all the training in the world. You can come together and dance together. So I just wanted to say that. If we're good on that, I've got one more question.
If I may be allowed just one more question.
Yeah.
For each of you, how are you different for having made the film?
Hit us with the hard one at the end. That's a good one.
That's a good one. You want to go?
You go.
Okay. How am I different from? Honestly, so in the beginning, when this idea was brought to me, I was like, I don't know about this. I wasn't so sure how to do it, and so especially this was my first time directing a film, and then after being a part of it, after communicating with the dancers and with the camera operators and the director of photography and everybody, I felt this, I felt so much more connected to the world. I know it sounds so random, but very not specific, but because I wasn't so sure about how my role would be in this film, I wasn't sure how I could direct something. I'm a dancer, I'm a choreographer, but I'm not a filmmaker, so I didn't know how I could do this. But once I realized, oh, this is just communicating between dancers and people, and I love that. And so I just felt so much, I feel like I could travel the world and just like get in the dirt and feel like part of the people, for part of this world. I did feel so connected to everywhere we went. Everywhere I went, I learned how they greet one another, how they say hello, how they communicate, and it's just such a beautiful thing that I did come away so grateful for just the world we live in and the people, the beautiful people that there are. We were like, how the heck could we not love everybody? It's so easy. It's so much easier to love than it is to hate, and I just that's how I came away from it.
For me, this was a dream of truly a lifetime, but at least 12 years of just, I have to tell you that I pitched this film to everyone else. Okay, I begged all kinds of filmmakers. I said, I've got a great idea for you. You should make a film of dance with Beethoven's Ninth. And everyone looked at me like, what? How would that work? And I was like, it just would, you know? And no one got it. Nobody got it. But I could see it as clear as day, you know? So for me to make the film, and the other thing was that in 2016, when I finally decided we had to make it, there was so much violence, so much hostility, there was the nuclear threat going on between North and South Korea. There was like all of these horrible, horrible moments where I was like, I can't leave the world like this to my grandkids, you know? So making the movie for me was really like a stand. And it was really like, whatever, like I have to do this if I die, you know, that kind of thing. So doing it kind of felt like liberation for me, but it also felt like liberation for humanity, you know. So I know that sounds like a little bit grand, you know, but honestly that is how I felt in completing it.
I think for me, like on the editing side, you know, you come in and you have all this mountain of footage you have to work with and stuff. And then I started listening to Beethoven's Ninth, you know, and this is the first time, you know, you don't really get a chance unless you're like a real classical buff to sit down and listen to an hour-long symphony. So like, that was amazing for me to just really get to know the music super well, and you know, it just becomes a part of you. And I just remember times when I'd be editing and just like sobbing, just feeling so moved by the words, the music, the emotion, the power of the music. And so I think I felt like a new appreciation for Beethoven and the music, and of course the dancers and the setting, and just kind of the honor of putting something like that together. So I guess I just felt honored, and I felt hopeful, and I felt inspired, and I felt like purposeful, I guess, with our vision. And yeah, I guess I feel inspired to do more of that, you know, through experiencing that, through Dancing Joy.
Yeah, we also have the movie for sale if you want to take one home. We have shirts and things like that as well, and we're around, so if you have any other questions. Thank you all so much for coming. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for bringing your kids. Thank you for bringing your friends. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.